start at a new place, you are starting from scratch. Hi, I'm Danielle and I manage the distribution center at NuMe Tea. One thing I noticed when I started at NuMe is that people were working as individuals. They weren't working as a team. There wasn't a sense of urgency that everyone was aware of. They were just individuals with individual tasks, and I needed to change that to a supply chain, a team, people that are aware of dates, and all together as a group. We fail and we succeed together. Barbara, which ones are your international packages?
The one up front.
So how many do you have?
3 altogether.
And your documents are good? You've got it attached?
Oh, yeah.
These
I
are
got my
the
labels
EDI?
for the women's event
Okay.
we got going on. That's
Okay.
it.
And then have you done the end of day?
Yep.
All good? Okay. So now we can load?
Yep. Everything seems to be getting out a lot faster. Everything seems to be going a lot smoother than it was for a while there.
A little skeptical, wasn't too sure of her background and all of that, but I feel like I accomplished more at the end of the day. It's great having her here.
It's interesting. I will share with you, Danielle came into a very turbulent, to use your word, situation. I'm Cindy Graffert, Customer Service Manager here at NuMe Organic Tea. She replaced a manager that everybody loved. That team loved that person because she was their friend. And I think that the business demands changed. And unfortunately, her skill sets weren't enough to carry her into this new world. But fortunately for Danielle, in a very quick time, she was able to, through her communication, through her expertise in the area of managing a distribution center, win that team over. And I think that, you know, the difference between Danielle and the other manager is flexibility, you know, not being so rigid, in the sense that this is the way we've done business, this is the way we have to do business as we grow. It's being able to recognize that we're a living, breathing organism here and that we need to change organically as the business changes as well.
She's done this before. She's been in a company that's growing as fast as we are, and she's been in a company in the same growth cycle that we are in. Hello, I'm Brian Durkee, the Director of Operations for NuMe Organic Tea. So the experience is something that's really key, but I think another thing is she's really a calm and assertive leader, and that calmness and that assertiveness is something that the people really grabbed onto and followed, and her leadership is really the primary thing that's changed how the organization runs in regards to distribution.
One big misconception is that a manager is someone that oversees, you know, activity. I think for me, management is being involved with the activity. One thing that I try to do is I try to do what I ask folks to do. So if I assign you something, I have done it before myself, and I have a good idea as to how long it will take, what your challenges will be when you're doing that as well. If you just assign a task and walk away, then you didn't experience what your team member did, and you don't really gain any knowledge. You'll do it the same over and over and over. But if you're involved, you'll adjust and you'll be faster, and they'll feel that they're involved and they'll become faster, and they're more involved in the output. They're more involved in the outcome.
Being efficient versus being effective. I think they go hand in hand. Honestly, I don't think they're in conflict with one another. Efficiency comes with finding processes and or introducing technologies. That's how you're going to find efficiencies. It's constantly reviewing the processes that are in place and how you might be able to improve those. By improving your efficiencies, you open up time. And time is what's needed to be effective.
So what we're trying to do is we're trying to find the proper tray for this, because in a last minute situation, Costco is going to want us to put these into actual trays. And I pulled out a few of the trays here that we're looking at. And this was the 6-count tray, but I believe it was for a different item. We offer a wide variety of products to a wide variety of customers. I'd really rely on our distribution center manager, Danielle, to be innovative any way she can to make this process efficient. So a big part of her job, and what I look to her for, is to create saneness out of chaos.
In a very small company and in a very growing business, turbulence should be expected. It kind of shakes up the organization a little bit, and we have to scramble to make it happen. But to me, that's not a bad thing.
Oh, I'm always looking days ahead with as much information as I can. Often you can't control how fast your freight travels. You try to have schedules, but weather can affect that, demand can affect that. Right now, one big challenge we have is getting containers from China. The United States is not importing as much, so the containers aren't available for me to export.
We had heard loud and clear during a 2007 survey from our customers that our lead times were not competitive. and that they would, without hesitation, go to a competitor. Before Danielle got here at NUMMI, orders that shipped via container could take up to 15 days from the time the customer approved their order before we could actually get it on the water or on the rails. We're averaging 5 days now.
Oh my gosh, I'll tell you, Siri and Jen are going to be so jazzed. To try and get this in before the end of month is going to mean the world to them.
Something that happened today. We have a large international customer. In fact, he's a distributor throughout the United Kingdom. And he has been sitting on a very large order that will need to ship via a container. And we don't have a container here yet. Prior to this, I would have to say to the customer no. But because Danielle fully understands the need to be competitive and fully understands the time constraints with our international orders, she has changed the operations to do something that's called a live load, which was a great surprise for me today because I was anticipating the worst when I went to her with this challenge. Live load means that when the container gets here, she has her team set to have that loaded within an hour, which is amazing. It's remarkable. I mean, and I was so surprised to hear that she had implemented that type of a drastic change to a very critical part of our business.
Did you hear back from Cindy about the international? What's her decision? Are we going to ship it before the 1st? Or I think the way that I've drawn people into the big picture here at NUMMI is when you are adjusting to a change you need to make, is making sure that your staff is aware of the reason behind it, so that way when they go to execute it, they understand the importance behind it. I really try to empower them to execute, so I need to make sure that they're trained and that they understand why we are doing things the way we are doing. And if they have a better suggestion or have some input, I definitely want to pay attention to that. And if I can't use their suggestion, I want them to understand why.
If you're a compartmentalized manager and you're a non-collaborative manager, this isn't the place to be. It takes all of us to run NUMMI.
A manager like Danielle can impact the entire organization tremendously. She has more direct reports than anyone in the organization. So by simply having a true manager who can come in and manage efficiency, it's the epitome of people working smarter, not harder.